You ready?
Yep.
You want to talk about Anne Hayes some more?
No.
No? We're done? Do you think I was going to say, you think Kim Kardashian going to go back to a black penis, or she going to stay with the white penis?
No, I think she is.
Because she likes black chocolate penises.
No, she likes him. She likes him.
She likes Pete Davidson?
Yeah. Sometimes it be the nice guys.
Is it a white chocolate penis?
That's what the streets said. I don't really know.
Yo, I'm laughing because that's absolutely the last thing she thought I was going to say. She was like, what the fuck did he just say? Where did that shit come?
Well, that was the rumor that he is well endowed. But other people that have dated him have said that.
Okay, I shouldn't even have brought this subject out because now we're talking about endowments and it's not about money. This is industry rule number 4080.
Industry rule number 4080. Industry rule number 4080. Record company people are shady. Industry rule number 4080. Record company people are shady.
My main protagonist and antagonist, Masta Killa, is here again, and she's already got the face on. She can't even just fucking smile. You just smile and say thank you, welcome, and you gotta make it look at some shit. This is not my show today. I'm gonna let her have the show today because I think that's her problem. She got a little attitude problem because she ain't been able to run the show.
I promise you that is not my issue.
Okay. Well, there is an issue. We admitted that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll work that through later. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
How you doing tonight?
I'm good.
The call good now? That's one of the reasons that you got an issue, right?
Now that I was able to know where to park my vehicle, I'm good.
You good now? Okay, you don't have to cut your eyes. I mean, when you say it, you can just say it. I'm playing with you.
I was
playing
blinking.
with you. I'm so playing with you.
So that's
so playing with you. I had to
says.
catch you. I had to catch you before you do it. Don't cut your eyes, Abby.
I always say he rolling his eyes. He's like, I'm blinking.
I'm blinking.
You lying. You rolling your eyes.
Ken is the love of her life, her partner.
That's right.
The barometer that I gauge life upon. What's up, Ken? I make sure she don't talk greasy. I straighten you out when you talk greasy, right? Don't even make that face. I straighten you out when you talk greasy, right?
Ken know I'm going to say what I want to say.
But I straighten you out when you talk greasy, right? I do hold them down, right? Don't say I don't hold them down. All right, what you want to talk about today?
What are we going to talk about today?
What you want to stress me out about today?
I want to talk...
What one opinion can I have when you have three? You got that many?
No, I want to talk about money management.
Okay, what about
money management?
Now, money management in what sense? Money management as individuals, money management as corporations, money management as
individuals, and I guess if you're in a relationship with somebody, like how important is it to you to be with someone who knows how to manage their finances? How important is it that they have, I don't even know, like a fair or good credit score? Like, how important is that to you?
You're asking me that question?
Yes, I am.
As far as somebody that I'm with?
Yeah, or in general.
Well, I think in general you have to have a healthy sense of money management because you don't educate yourself about money. You don't learn about money until you fuck it up.
That's a fact.
Okay, so that's a real thing. All right. I remember specifically being in college, and everybody has those things where you can get the credit cards for free, right? And then it's like some real short money, like $1,500, right? You run through it in 10 minutes, and then the government got you, and you don't know about you having an issue till you have a credit score. You can't do anything. You want to buy a car, you didn't want to buy furniture,
right?
Right? They'd be like, nah, we can't do that. So your first education about finance being a problem is in college or after you mess up a credit card. I think one of the biggest crimes in education is that there isn't a finance class that you're taught. You can go through high school and college and choose not to take a finance class, finance, economics, money management class at all. They teach you how to add, they teach you how to subtract, they teach you how to spend money. They even teach you how to save it. They even teach you how to write a check.
Right.
They teach you everything about spending the money. They teach you nothing about saving the money, or nothing about credit education. So I think that's important for an individual period. Of course, if you're going to call yourself adulting, but in reference to a relationship, I think I won't say it's uber important. I think what's clear needs to be what the roles are and what one can and one cannot do.
I definitely think there's a conversation that should be had.
Yes.
When you're getting
Especially
serious with someone.
If it's going to be of significance, yes.
Right.
Because, like I said, if one person buys a house, it's their house, it's not your house, right? So that one
Right.
person can kick you out, and it's a whole other conversation. But there should be a healthy conversation about what credit represents and where they are. Because one thing that can be misconstrued, and then I'm going to let you have the floor, is that one person just might not be good at money management. Other person may be very good at money management.
Right.
Okay? You have to be strong enough to say that you deal with the money. You know what I'm saying? You build us up. You build me up. While the other person may say, well, I'm good at home management. You see what I mean? I'm good at making sure the home is okay. I'm good at making sure that when we do things, it's managed the proper way. I might be a good trip planner, okay, to make sure we save money that way. I'm just not good with seeing numbers. So that's how I see it. But I agree with you in totality. It has to be a healthy conversation and understanding on both sides. So on a scale of 1 to 10, it's absolutely a 8+ for me, as far as that other person having a responsibility to the conversation at minimum.
I think I can actually attest to being one of those people who had to, like a lot of things in my life, I had to learn about things the hard way. Like I remember, and now mind you, I'm a person of a certain age, so I would say a couple of years ago, I want to say like 7 or 8 years ago, I had got my credit to this really, really good score, but still didn't really know anything about credit. So the first thing I did was I went and applied for this credit card. And then like a month later, I applied for this one, and then this one, and then this one, and this one, till I ended up with like 17 credit cards.
17
credit cards.
Anything over 6 is too much. Fair. In life.
And started just like accumulating a balance on just about all of them. Paid them off, but I didn't realize that when you open up accounts, like that also messes with your credit. When you close the account, that messes with you. Like completely illiterate when it came to credit. And then there were some credit cards that I never even got the chance to use, so they closed the accounts. So then my credit took a hit for that.
Wait. So you had 17 credit cards.
Yeah, 16 or 17.
All right. So you had 17 credit cards. You messed up on 12. So you can even use 13.
They were like,
he was so jaded. He's like, this heifer can't even have a card.
Yeah.
They did you dirty?
And then I got caught up trying, I paid them all off because I wanted to still have the credit. And
thought that was the answer.
Yeah. And then some of them, I think like maybe 3 of them may have went to collections, and not knowing how to handle that, I was trying to pay off the balances after they went to the collections, which you should never do. Didn't know that until I actually hired someone to help me clean up my credit. Now I'm A1, like you can't tell me anything. But back then, who would open up 17 credit cards in like a 4 or 5 month span? Evidently
you. And then, like I said, you went through 12 and they said, this is some bullshit. You can't use 14.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really, really bad.
All right. So now you're A1 now, right? This is your show. I'm just asking questions. I want to get the education, right? Where does that land in your relationship? And now, I'm not saying talk is business. I'm saying that y'all both, y'all have had that healthy conversation, as far as moving things forward, whether it's you, whether it's him, whether it's you together, you'll have that whole thing worked out.
Well, I'll share something kind of personal. Like in the course of me rebuilding my credit, my partner had an 800 plus credit score.
That's why you went out with her?
That's what the rumor on the streets is, but that is not true.
He had an endowed credit score.
No. So he added me to one of his Amex cards, and that helped me build my credit back
Pre-relationship or during the relationship?
up. Early on in the relationship.
Oh, that's sexy. Let me make sure I understand this. He put you on his debt to help build your debt up?
Well, he didn't have.
I'm sorry, not debt. He put your debt on his good credit to get your credit right?
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder you ain't leaving.
But I mean, I wasn't a stranger. Like,
No, that's some big shit right there.
you think that's a big thing?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, for a man's, a man who has it together, to take a person that does not have it together and say, I can't have to put you on my shit to help you get your shit together, is a huge fucking statement. Not big, it's a huge fucking statement. Because you could fuck my shit up and your ass could leave. Then what?
True.
Now I want to kick your ass and I can't find you. Huge statement. Whatever y'all do this weekend, do more. Ask me holding down Ken, you go like, that's my boy Tally right there.
But that kind of like started everything for me. And then once I found out that, you know, obviously when something goes to collections, you kind of have to leave it in collections. I learned so much through the person that was helping me clean up my credit. Like, I had no idea that when a bill collector calls you and you identify yourself,
You reset the clock.
Did not know that. So when they were calling me, I was like, who's calling? I never said who I was. I never confirmed who I was. Most of the time, I wouldn't even answer the phone. That was something that I learned through them.
All right, let me help us. Let me do this right here, if I may.
Go ahead.
And don't get mad at me. You know, I talk about what my culture to do better. And that's why we have some of our big fights, right? Look at the camera and tell our people 2 things they could do right now that has nothing to do with having good credit or bad credit, but will help them within their credit situation. Like you just said, I'll give one. If you don't identify yourself, they cannot keep track of you.
Right. If they want to call you all day long, let them call you all day long. But when they say, can I speak to such and such, this is a recorded line, don't ever confirm who you are, because if it's about to come off your credit like a year or 2 from now, you're going to start it all the way back from the beginning, and you do not want that.
That's not what you want.
No.
As certain idiots say on the radio.
And keep your credit utilization low, because that will also drop your credit score significantly. If you got a $7,000 credit limit on a credit card, you should not have a $5,000 balance on the credit card, especially with Amex.
They don't play.
They will drop your shit like 100 points, and they don't care.
They don't play.
They will make your minimum payment balance, your minimum payments, like a couple of $100 until you satisfy that balance.
Right. Okay.
Just little stuff that I learned.
I'm confident that, I'm being very honest, that somebody in this room learned that as well, and that somebody that's going to watch this learned that as well. So that's good.
Yeah, I wish that they taught this stuff to these kids, because growing up, my parents didn't tell me about this stuff. My sisters knew about credit early on just because they were just savers. I was very much the spender growing up. My sisters would like to say that they're like my mom's side of the family. They're very frugal. I'm more like my dad's side of the family. They're going to spend it. You know, if they want a $400 bottle of perfume, they're going to buy a $400 bottle of perfume. That's me. I'm going to buy it and deal with it later on. But as I get older, it's like, yo, that's really corny that you're spending $400 on perfume, but you don't even have $400 in your account. Like, that's corny.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So what you're mentioning, if I'm hearing you properly, is that in reference to relationships, I'm not sure if it's a top 5 thing in the dynamic of the relationship.
Definitely a top 5.
But it needs to be if you're not paying attention to it in that way,
Definitely
right?
a top 5. And if it's somebody that you're pursuing and you want to be serious with them, these are conversations that you need to have. You need to put everything on the table. I want my credit to, what's your credit score?
What you want it to be.
You need to be completely transparent with your partner. Like, this is what my credit looks like now. But I want it to look like this because in 6 months to a year, I want us to have a house together. These are conversations that you need to have with your partner if you're trying to go the distance. I had these conversations with my partner before we even got into a relationship because we were friends first. And I love that we had that foundation because I think that it helped us, or it continues to help us as we go forward.
Okay. All right.
So when do you pay your debt then? If you're saying don't pay the credit card, if you have a debt, when do you pay it?
I would say for me, you can look into having someone assist you with it because, or like the person that was helping me, she took all of that. She handled that, or she would show you what you can do. Like there were different courses you could take. Or she would do like a YouTube and she would tell you what you can say to the bill collectors. Like if you get something in writing from them stating, listen, if I pay this amount by such and such, you have to agree to take this off my credit report. You can have those conversations with them, with those collection agencies as well.
But I thought they said in some places, they said it takes 7 years for stuff to go off there.
I think that's the do nothing plan. That's a do nothing plan.
When you don't do anything
and avoid,
then
it has to come
have
off.
no choice.
It's bad debt. It's a bad debt at that point in time. It's
a write-off for them, but it's gonna look bad for you.
Okay, so when do you know? I mean, is it several years? Is it within 2 years? Within a year that you have the debt you paid, or?
Well, the person that I was working with was able to remove stuff within a year.
Okay, anything over a year you say not bad.
It really depends on what it is and how long it's been there. Like they will work until she would work on it until she actually got it taken off of your credit altogether.
Okay. But I'm just recalling, I guess I'm bringing it back. So the energy behind why you wanted to discuss it was for those that don't think it's a relevant thing to discuss within the core of your relationship, is something that you're missing drastically. It's absolutely something you have to do.
Because you have to have, I don't even want to say decent, I want to say good to very good credit now to do anything. To move into an apartment building, to try to purchase a home. Like, yes, you can get a car or you can get a home with fair credit, but you end up paying more for that same stuff because your credit is not good. They're gonna tack on more prices and you're gonna pay more in interest. It's not even it's not worth it. Why would you pay $50,000 for a car that's worth $30,000? You're paying that because your credit is bad. Don't get the car until you've cleaned up your credit.
And those need to be open conversations within a relationship, right? It's got to be strong enough to say, like, your credit is crappy, we got to get it better. And you have, and the person has to be strong enough to say, okay, how do we get it better? And say, you got to do some work. Yeah. And then that might be a hard decision. Like, you may have to get rid of the car, downsize the car. Get rid of my car. No, you have to downsize your car as part of the process. Why
are you driving the Audi if you make like $30,000 a year? Like, you may not be able to afford the Audi. Like, let's just keep it 100. Like, people just live beyond their means, and it's I never understand that.
Katiya passion, look at that.
Because so many people, I see it all the time. Like you see people judging about certain vehicles that you drive or certain stuff. I know so many people that make more money than I do, but are humble with what they have. Not because they can't afford a better car or they can't afford to buy a house. They just choose not to. Like, why?
To your point, it's credit perspective.
Yeah.
They have the perspective of it to kind of do that together. So I get it.
They don't need it.
I get it.
Like this past weekend, Ken and I had went to Ohio because he went to Xavier University. So every year he gets with his college friends. And I always tell him it's so nice to see, like, In particular, people of color.
She loves this thing.
Yeah, because
She lives
it's
this.
never no issue when we go out. Like these people, very humble. Very humble, don't, not flashy, not Chanel this and all of that. And they clearly can afford it, but they just choose not to. Like, I like being around people like that. Because the person that's walking in the room that has on the Chanel sneakers and the $2,500 YSL bag doesn't necessarily impress me, because you could have $5 in your pocket, or your account could be in the negative.
Okay. All right. I get it. Can I pivot?
Sure.
All right. So let's talk about a question that you've asked me a few times because of your cultural sense. Katiya, if I'm strong about music and my passion, okay. Katiya is passionate about culture and what she feels is the right thing to do, and damn near wants to cleanse the gene pool and press reset. You asked me what I attract at one time, right? Remember that? And I told you that I tend to, I don't know why, I have, and maybe because I've lived in New York for a long time, I tend to attract girls of Latin persuasion. Okay. And you said, do you like girls of African American or of colored culture? I said, I absolutely do, but it's not what I'm drawn to. And I said, and that's not what's necessarily drawn to me. And then you asked me, would I marry a girl of, say, Latina persuasion? I said, I don't know. I said, I think that's where I'm headed, because that's why I attract. And then you explained to me what I need, what I'm not doing when it comes to what I'm not being fair to, if I'm saying it the proper way, okay, in reference to what women of color have to offer compared to other nationalities, right? And you also mentioned too, like, how that bothers, I won't say bothers you, but I want you to give your perspective about how, like, why does it have to be another culture? Why can't it just be a good woman, period? And why does it have to be that the good woman isn't of, let's say, African American persuasion?
So, like, we've always had we've had these conversations in depth, and I've always said it's not about, people are free to love and be in a relationship with whoever they choose to be. Where the situation gets a little personal for me is when black men make negative statements about black women. Oh, I don't date black women because they got attitudes. Oh, I don't date them because, the superficial part about it. I don't date black women because I want my kids to look a certain way, because I want my kids to have a certain type of hair. The most ignorant shit comes out of black men's mouths sometimes about black women. And sometimes, well, not sometimes, it is offensive, because bro, you came from a black woman, so how dare you talk down to black women? Like, say you want to date other people. I would have respected more if someone said, I just enjoy getting in tune with women of other cultures. But when you start throwing in the vanity behind it, then it's personal.
Okay.
Because just because you're dating someone who has curly, wavy hair doesn't necessarily mean your kid is gonna come out looking like that, looking a certain way. I bet Neo thought that his kids was gonna come out looking a certain way because he married a light-skinned woman with green eyes. And
you see the faces? You see the Aquarius coming out? Listen, I'm being very humble when I say this. How ignorant have I said, or how ignorant statements have come out of my mouth?
You said some stuff.
Okay, no, it's fine. I'm being very upfront about it, because I'm not trying to run from it. I'm trying to run towards it, because I want to kind of make the conversation, what's the term, make it make sense. Okay, would you say I'm that way now? Tell me.
Yes and no.
Okay, was it always a yes before? Did it turn from a yes, did it go from yes to yes no? Or was it always yes no?
No, it's a yes no now.
Okay, so I have the ability to grow.
Yeah.
And you have seen some semblance of growth within that.
Right, and I just have to keep saying, It's not about hating women of other cultures. That is not what it's about, because it's really not about, sometimes, let me start over, sometimes it is what women of other cultures have said about black women. Like and not even just women of other cultures, fairer skinned women have made statements and said, oh, like they assume that they're better because they're lighter skinned. I hope my family never watches this, because my aunt is one of those people who is of a fairer complexion, and she has made statements, and
That play right into it.
And I'm just like, auntie, like, seriously, you are a colorist, like, this is wild. But
So add Asian to it now, right? Almost like, these other, I'm trying to make sure I say this without sounding offensive, as we have a lot of different genders, right, that we're now clearly acknowledging as being what is, right, compared to what isn't. There's also a lot of age, I won't say ageism, but there's an age thing within it as well too, whereas, for example, what wasn't previously accepted as okay is very much okay now. So let's say, for example, a 20-year-old can date a 35-year-old now, and that's called normal. Not kind of normal, like normal. Like there's nothing wrong with that per se. Whereas before, that would be like, nah, that's too much of a time. That's too much of a difference. But that's just like I said. But that has evolved, like genders have evolved. You kind of follow me? So how does that play into the conversation as well too? What is appropriate? What isn't appropriate? And then you add in the fact that there's a cultural difference, and like you said before, lighter skin, fairer skin, the same things about darker skin, and then the Latinas maybe putting out things a little bit differently than maybe the Greeks, whatever the case may be. I'm just trying to see how that kind of plays into things, because I see a lot of differences in age. Like for example, I think Jay-Z is
like
18.
11 years older than Beyonce, 12 years older than her.
Right.
I mean, if that's her real age, because they lie.
Right. But in theory, that's how much older she is than them, and that's perceived as
like he was
like breathing.
He was talking to her when she was really young.
Right. But I'm saying, but that's beyond, like, we're not even talking about that anymore.
Right.
Okay. What's it called? Look at. So I want to get your perspective on that first. I'm not trying to give too many examples.
On Beyonce and Jay-Z?
No, I'm saying just your feelings on age between men and women, what is appropriate, what isn't appropriate, like I said, because that's
I don't know if I want to say it's inappropriate per se. I think that sometimes when guys date females that are significantly younger than them,
give me a significant time.
Diddy and Carisha, like.
No, but like, is that 5? Is that 10? Is that 15? Is that 20? Like, what's the number? Like, what's? I'm not saying I know the number. I'm saying what would be perceived as, quote, a number. Because Diddy's dating Young Mama from the City Girls, right? That's definitely something.
Which is crazy.
No, I'm saying he's got to be twice her age. I'm just saying, but in general, is that it? You can't be twice the age? Like, anything less than twice the age is okay?
So you can date someone that age, but realistically, what does he really have? And I'm going to use him as an example.
I know the answer is.
What does he have in common with her? Like, when you started going with Uptown Records or whatever, she wasn't even born.
Her mother might not have been born. But listen.
Yeah, because I think he's older than her mother.
Listen, but I'm trying to get a point here. We can get 10 comments here. What is the number? Is it 5? Is it 10? Is it 15? Is it 20? Is it 25? What is the number? You be like, shit, that is a problem.
I would say 25. 25 is a lot.
Shit.
25 is a lot.
Okay, so that plays into my question even more, because you're basically saying 2.5 generations is too much. There was a point in time when 1.5 generations was too much. There was a point where half a generation was enough. What changed here, and what makes that good, better, and different?
It's not that it's bad. It's just more like, because I'm not here to criticize or whatever, but what would a person that's 65 years old have in common with a young girl who's 25?
She's a nurse.
What? Like, what is it, like, what could we really converse about?
Health. Because I'm a nurse. You can push my wheelchair in about 5 years.
And that would
that would be it, but health is enough for top of about for the rest of your goddamn life if you want. That's enough.
In my opinion,
I'm playing devil's advocate and being a teeny bit bunch of an asshole. Okay, within what I'm saying, but that's what it would be. If she was a nurse at 25 and he's 60, he's like, shit, she can push me, she can make sure I have my meds, you can get discounts on shit. I'm good.
Men.
No, that's what it is. I preface this and I'm being an asshole about it, but that is what they would have in common. They would be able to talk hospital shit all day. They could watch fucking Grey's. They could watch Grey's Anatomy. They could watch Grey's Anatomy all the time.
Want to do with that 25-year-old girl? I can assure you. He's trying. She's a nurse. He's trying to figure out if she can give him the prescription for the pill so he can get it up so he can have sex with her.
That's a part of the equation, but also. She can sit back and say, my blood pressure medicine, you can go get it with the RX card that you got, and it can be cheaper than me paying $8 for the damn bottle. And as long as his tongue work for a minute, they can work it out for a little bit. You went there, so I'm finishing it up. I'm just saying what that works out to be.
Circle back.
Okay. So anyway, that's the rare occasion of what the age difference would make sense. Okay, that's what us having fun with it. But you're 1,000% correct. Okay. Here's what hurts it. Watch this. Ready? What hurts it? These age appropriateness. Watch this. So, how about everybody's a goddamn 90s baby?
Not me.
No, I'm sorry. Everybody's a 90s baby with music. So now you could be 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. You love the 90s. Now you got someone to talk about all goddamn day, all goddamn night playing in the goddamn car. You just gave him a topic because everybody's going to be a 90s baby.
I suppose.
No, that's some of the dumb shit that's happening. I'm walking into the reason why we're having this great conversation. These are things that are actually happening closely in front of our eyes. Remember my whole conversation about Funk Master Flex talking to half people's eyes and Angie Martinez with half her age? This is what happens. These people start saying, then the older people are kind of okay, because look what Angie's doing. She's talking to 20-year-olds on the radio every day. When she should be talking to 50-year-olds.
But she's not dating a 20-year-old.
That we know of.
No.
That we know of.
Is she engaged to someone who's...
Okay, but again, I'm not Angie Martinez's history. God bless her.
And maybe she's interviewing these artists, one, because of her field, and two, she has a son who is like 18 or 19, so he's probably also keeping her abreast on which artists are popping. Like,
this is all walking into my point as far as these people having older people in the industry that are speaking to a generation that's 2 years younger than them, then having kids that are younger than them as well, that are into the music. It's laying out the foundation of why they can stay where they are or land where they are. I'm not even knocking them. I'm saying that this is what makes the age appropriateness a little bit different. I'm going back to my 90s baby point, okay? I watched The Chi. I love The Chi. I love the fact that on The Chi that they have so many different melanin complexions, right? It's not a light skin show, okay? There's a lot of that type of thing. And then I literally watched the show where the young girl that's going to college was playing, I guess, spades with the older guys, and the guy said, I'm in the jazz. She said, well, I'm a 90s baby. She's 20. She's 20. I'm a 90s baby. Okay, well then guess what she's saying? She's telling people who love the 90s that we have something in common. It's a place to build and come from.
She's definitely not a 90s baby. Not at 20 years old. But
right.
Okay.
We're walking into my point, right? All right. So food for thought, as it is something that's culturally present. It's almost something to kind of watch and see what happens, right? See how it kind of plays out, because you just spoke about it from completely different angles and kind of what that walks into.
I'm trying to understand why some guys have such an issue with dating women who are closer to their age. For example, we can just use Diddy as an example. When's the last time he dated someone that was in his age bracket besides his kid's mother? Everyone he's dated, I mean, Cassie she's not young, but she's...
But at that time, the difference was in that category of...
if you want to put it, she's still like maybe 15, 16 years younger than him.
I don't understand why he dates the girl Young Miami, because I can't understand her. Like when she speaks, I'm like, what language is that?
I feel like he's dating these younger women, or a lot
No,
of guys date these younger women because they want someone to mold, someone that they can shape and turn. And you can't mold and shape a grown ass woman. Like, you can't have those conversations about certain things with a 40-year-old or someone who's 50 years old. That's within their age bracket.
I think that's fair. I won't knock that. There's nothing wrong with molding.
Yes, it is.
No. When you're a grown ass woman, you're already molded. Of course, there's a problem with it because you've already accomplished that. But if you are a Rhodes Scholar that has access to be in certain clubs, and you can get them into certain universities, and you can help mold them into being a rampant independent woman with amazing skill sets, what's wrong with molding? Molding doesn't necessarily have to be I'm a drug dealer because I know how to make money, or this I'm gonna bring this person along. It could be a person that absolutely wants to make it's like, I want to say raising your daughters, but you want your daughters to have the best things in the world. Why can't a man see that in a woman and say, I want you to have the best things in the world too, and grow and mold you and shape you in that way?
So if you had, let's say you had a daughter, and your daughter was 16, or she was 18 years old, and she was 18. She's this her first year in college. She's coming home for the holidays, and she's coming back with one of the professors who's like 42 years old. You absolutely have no issue with that as a father.
No. That age, what I have an issue with is the premise upon how they met, and that being taken advantage of and turning into something it should not. Because he is there to educate her, not implant himself inside of her. When they go to school, they're taught a moral clause of not dealing with their students. To break that clause to do something is what my issue is. It's not about her being young and him being old.
Okay, so what if it was? What if she did? Okay, so what if she came home with somebody who wasn't her professor?
Sure,
but was a different professor.
No.
And on the campus, she's not his student. It's just another professor from a different course. She has no affiliation with this professor at all. Same age. She's 18. He's 42. She brings him home for the holidays. They're serious. She wants to introduce him to her family. What's your stance on that?
I'm not okay with it, but I get it. But my moral compass is a different conversation. My moral compass is what people are, what they learn and grow to do, they shouldn't take advantage of. Right? So I'm not saying that a personal trainer can't meet somebody and fall in love with them because he's touching them all the damn time. But what I am saying is that a gynecologist shouldn't be falling in love with his patients. Okay? Because his duty is to do a certain tactic or a certain duty within that situation, not take advantage of it or say, ooh, you're beautiful, while he's digging down there. That's crazy to me. Okay, a professor that goes to college, he's raised to educate. He's there to educate. He's focused to educate. So that should be his first, second, and third motion. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be something that because her hair is so beautiful, he loses that moral compass. Okay, so that's the issue I have. But if she meets a guy in a store, and the guy is gracious to her in a store and picks up her pack, some off the top shelf, and she says, oh, he's very nice. And they go out and she says, hi, what's your name? My name is John. And then she finds out that John is a professor. I can't knock that because that's what organically happens. Okay, what I can knock is if
why is he looking at an 18-year-old girl?
No, I didn't give you. That conversation is that conversation. We just had a build-up conversation of what's happening culturally that's taking that barrier down. Like I just said, if you're a 90s baby, you just said we got 20, 30, 40, 50, 60-year-olds that are all 90s babies. So when they see Casey and JoJo, they see Casey and JoJo. They don't say Casey and JoJo's old. Okay? They just sound like Jodeci. Okay? So it doesn't matter how old they are. They're just like Jodeci. Then they find out that Jodeci's 60. They're like, well, Casey ain't that ugly for 54. But I'm saying it on purpose because I'm making a joke. I'm just saying that's how simple it is, though. Yeah. You follow me? You're a 90s baby. You see Genuine. I'm not saying it's attractive. but you see him. Okay, he takes care of himself. Then if you see another man in the same age bracket, I'm just saying it's a good conversation to watch and see what's going on. Look at us having a conversation, and look at you and us.
I know, having opinions.
It's possible.
Having opinions.
It's possible. It's very possible. Look at you.
Yeah, I can have an opinion.
We're still there. Can I say this? Aquarius.
That's fine. That's fine.
Aquarius.
I own it.
Aquarius.
I own it.
All right. We're going to come back to this conversation. I think it's worth watching. It's worth watching. So I just want to say things real quick before we get out of here. It's great binge watching time now. Right? The Chi is out. I'm speaking about shows that I watch. Okay? I know some that you watch as well too. The Chi is out. P-Valley is out. City on the Hill is out.
I have not watched P-Valley yet.
P-Valley is out. City on the Hill is out. Kanan is coming. House of Dragons is coming. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, that's supposed to be
Just
huge.
finished Game of Thrones, binge that.
Okay, good. You caught up? You're alive.
No, I binged it. I binged it I've only binged it twice since it went off the air because it's it's really long and
it's
every
intense.
time you miss something.
You have to pay attention.
Every single time.
You have to pay attention.
Every single time.
Yeah. But it's a good binge watching season. Some of us have been watching it, so we'll see what kind of happens there too. And I'm cute, and a couple things always pop up as well too. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, we didn't see the Chi when the Chi came.
Right.
Okay. We didn't see P-Valley when P-Valley came. So there's a couple more that's coming.
So you know what I recently binged? The Throwback. This is when Dick Wolf I feel was like really in his bag.
Dick Wolf in his bag. Nobody's gonna say that today.
New York Undercover.
Oh Jesus.
So I went back to New York Undercover
90s.
because I wish that
90s baby TV.
I know, because it was a good show, and like and I see all of the artists that they first had performing there.
Andre Harrell was in the show.
He'll never be able to do that again.
Remember he did it with Andre Harrell.
He'll never be able to capture that again. First of all, these artists now, they'll never do that.
And Dick Wolf is old as hell.
He is, but he's still getting his
Well, he's
money.
getting legacy money. We'll see what happens.
There was something else I binged too. So I'm a little late. I don't know if anybody watches this, but it went off the air I think 3 years ago. So I really got into Schitt's Creek. Like I find that show, it was just hilarious. Like,
all right. For all my women of color, because she's a person of color, you're not watching this show. It's on Stars. You gotta watch Run the World. Okay, Run the World is the urban version of Sex and the City.
Wait, hold on.
Let me finish. And Yvette Bowser, who created Living Single, is behind the show. Gotta watch the show.
I'm trying to figure out why you went to Run the World when I said I just finished watching Schitt's Creek. What's wrong with Schitt's Creek?
Industry rule number 4080. This is
So
Tally.
rude.
That's Katiya. Always remember that light and darkness cannot exist at the same time. So if you choose one, choose the light. We're out of here. Talk to you guys later.
So rude. That was so rude.
You put it in there, service interruption.
Right? Like,
She said we had to wrap it up.
how do you okay.
She had to wrap it up. I wrapped it up. Last time we had to wrap it up, we went 15 minutes beyond, still yelling at each other. So I would at least act right this time. He's have to edit this thing. I'm gonna ask you a question. You ready? What's your favorite 1:30 in the morning club song? Be in the club at 1:30, right? That's when the records of the records play. You must be in the dance floor at 1:30. So I'll give you an example of records that are undeniably 1:30 records. They were 1:30 records when they came out. So put your hands on my eye. I can see Busta, 1:30 record. Benjamin's Diddy, 1:30 record. In the Club, 50, 1:30 record. Absolutely was. That record was popping at 1:31. If you went on the floor when in the club
Benjamin's
came on,
is
you were
still a
missing.
1:30 record. Depends on the crowd.
Your turn.
I don't know. I was going off for you. I haven't. Dang.
What's the 1:30 record now?
Oh, I couldn't tell you because I'm not in anybody's club now.
It's a 1:30 record.
In what era? Like that had to be like now?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm singing it.
Still?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
All right, come on. You got one. Top yes. Come on, let's go.
Dag,
You got 2 minutes.
I would have to think. I hate when I'm being put on the spot.
Oh my God. You know what's the 130 song that came out when it first came out for a quick second? What's we call it? Yeah. Thank you. We can name.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. You want to name 10 now?
No, because he don't. No.
I Wish by Carl Thomas when it first came out was a 1:30 in the morning record.
That slow song?
I wish. The people was on that floor two-stepping and clapping their ass off as if their hands were going to fall off. Absolutely.
That's crazy.
I'm a hustler, Jay-Z, 1:30 in the morning record. Oh, my favorite Jay-Z 1:30 in the morning record was Throw your hands up. Throw your hands up. Woo! 12 a.m. on the way to the club. I'm about to dance my ass right here. My fucking Tom Ford. I'm about to age the shit out of myself. That was a fighting record.
I'm trying to think. I'm caught off guard. Like,
And
what?
Jay-Z's your guy.
I know, but
Hate Me Now, Nas, 1:30 in the record, 1:30 in the morning record. Absolutely was.
was it?
Absolutely was. Hate Me Now? Please. What is your criteria?
I'm sitting here thinking.
You hurting your brain over this.
I am.
Okay, so Katiya's gonna come back with her 1:30 songs at
that's
1:30 in the
crazy.
morning.
I'm really bugging.
We'll have it by 1:30 in the morning.
I used to be in the clubs, or so I thought, but I'm drawing a
She'll have her
blank.
1:30 records at 1:30 in the morning.
I'm
That's actually a
drawing-
great way
I
to
am
end it, by the way, when I
drawing
said
a
that.
blank.
What is wrong? These are the easiest songs in the world.
I know.
All 90s babies. Are you teaching her to record the damn show?
Like auntie and uncle what?
Are we ready? Keep talking.
Like auntie and uncle what? Be
Okay.
specific.
We was talking about before how you get auntie and uncle status in the music industry. Auntie and uncle status, for clarity, is when you do not know that your time in the sun has segued to your time in the horizon, and when you thought you were the it person, you're no longer the it person, somebody else is, but you don't recognize it, and when it happens, it hits you like a ton of bricks because you don't realize it's actually happening. This is what's happening to Chris Brown right now with his last album. He's not understanding why the world doesn't love his album. This is what's happening. But he's not understanding it.
Okay, I don't know. But put him in that category. But again, that's my opinion.
No, we're not having an opinion conversation. We're
know.
having an explanation conversation of
You would
what
really,
it
but,
is.
okay.
We could go back to that later. We could put them all in the category. Have a great conversation about it. It's another
No,
podcast.
I want to talk about it now.
It's another
'Cause you brought it
podcast.
up.
Okay.
Why do you think Chris Brown is in the
Uncle category?
Yeah.
Okay. We had this conversation.
I mean,
long term.
Yeah,
Long term.
longevity. Yes, as far
Well,
as
two reasons why. Reason number one, the album he has right now could be an album he put out two or three albums previous, because there's nothing major different about it. He's not escalating. He's not growing. He's not growing. I'll give you an example of who's not a uncle, because he's growing with each album, although he's great. Kendrick Lamar. Okay? He's not an uncle. Okay? He grows and grows and grows. Albums get better and better and better. At one point, they're going to level off, and when that happens, he'll be Uncle Kendrick. As of right now, he's the it guy. Okay? Right now, he sells out stadiums.
See, that's where it's an opinion thing.
No. Again, I'm not getting caught up in opinion or non-opinion. I'm saying that this is what their status is. It's not my opinion. It's what happens. It's when Shaka Khan no longer becomes Mariah Carey. It's not personal. It's not personal. Okay? Shaka's always gonna be Shaka, but she's not when Mariah Carey was Mariah Carey. People wasn't loving Shaka Khan the way they loved Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey was the it girl. Shaka was not. Does not take away from her talent, her skill level, or her singing ability. It just meant that the generation that says, Shaka, we love you, we're just someplace else.
I would put Chris Brown in the uncle category based on how long he's been in the industry. Not because of his music, because if I'm going to be correct about the situation, there are plenty of people who are under 30 years old that listen to Chris Brown. Like he still has a fan base. He has a fan base just like any of these other Lil Baby, Da Baby,
no different
all the babies.
different than Mariah has a fan base, no different than Shaka Khan has a fan base. I'm not knocking fan bases. I'm just saying what situations dictate. I'll give you a perfect example of what Chris Brown is, what Chris Brown isn't. Okay, the generation today that's into Giveon and Lucky Day and those type of singers are not necessarily, I'm not saying they don't, but not necessarily saying Chris Brown's in that same category for me.
But who would put Chris Brown in the same category?
I'm not.
as
I'm just saying.
Giveon and them?
Again, my point isn't the comparison of the artists. I'm just speaking about the time frame. That's why I'm going back to Shaka Khan and Mariah Carey. That's my basis of my conversation. Not Chris Brown's albums, not Chris Brown's album. I'm speaking to two great singers who are miraculous in their role.
Well, I don't know if I want to say Giveon is a great singer.
I'm not. I'll say again. I'm speaking about Mariah Carey and Shaka Khan because they're both miraculous singers. But generationally, when Mariah was hot, it wasn't that Shaka wasn't. The generation just said, "We're here with her. We're not here with her." That's my only point. And that's how aunt status develops and uncle status develops.
But you put Chris Brown in the uncle status, but,
that's
but
me.
Kendrick Lamar is...
All right.
Oh, okay.
You ready?
All right.
My opinion.
I mean, you're right. You entitled. Everybody is entitled to their opinion.
I'm done.
This is what I think about Chris Brown.
You can stop it. I'm done.